let me use an instance of our executive governor of Osun State now. But the very day my son, we went together to greet him, pay him a visit. So, as a normal, this G guy thinks, he just did that. It's our governor hitting at his back.
Governor himself.
Himself.
Go.
And let me tell you that he is not saying that alone. He's practicing it. You cannot see any of. Look at the video.
Hi everyone, Blessing Olaniyi is my name and you're welcome again to Nehemiah Podcast. Nehemiah Podcast is a platform that will show some impactation to our audience. If you are following us on all our social medias, I want to tell you congratulations. Nehemiah Podcast on Instagram, Nehemiah Communication on YouTube, Nehemiah Yusuf on Facebook, that is our platform. You can visit us, follow, like some of our videos, and you will be feed with some valuable information about life, about your career, about anything you need to know. So, Blessing Olaniyi is my name and you're welcome again to our program. And today we have a great woman in our midst and we are going to be discussing family traditions and how they shape our lives. Family traditions and how it shapes our lives. So you're welcome, right?
Thank you
very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So talking about family traditions and how they shape our lives, what can we actually, first of all, can we ask what is family tradition? What is family tradition?
Yeah, before we ask about what is family tradition, we have to talk about the difference between culture and tradition.
Alright.
Now, there's difference. Yes, there's difference between culture and tradition. Culture is like a value or belief of a group of people or community. You know, like Yoruba culture, we have our own culture.
Yeah.
Igbo have their own culture and things now. But tradition is a particular thing from it, as in something that you just pass on to somebody. It's just something that, okay, when I wake up in the morning, I greet. What makes you to greet is a tradition.
Because you met it.
Because you met.
That is how it works.
Because that is right. So that is how it now comes into family tradition. Your own family have their own tradition. My own family have their own tradition. Like, so many family create some tradition, and before you know it, it has been a custom to the generation to generations. Let's talk about eating now. Like where I grew up from, my own parents, my mother, the tradition in our house is Sunday for panediam. So once it is Sunday afternoon,
everybody
after church, you know you're going to eat panediam.
are going to punch.
Unconsciously, it has been a tradition to us. Now, after getting married, after 20 years of my own marriage, it has been a tradition in my own house too here. Every Sunday, I don't think there was a day I was not discussing with my siblings. And I was like, the male of my sibling, not even the female. And that's when he said he's eating panediam on Sunday. This has become a tradition. And there are some things that's for eating. And there are some things again that we do. Talk about behavior. There are some things that we do before you know it. That's
That's how they do.
That's how they do. And before, is either you do it in the right way or in the wrong way. Is either it brings out a bad name or it brings out a good name. Thank you.
Alright, so can we now talk about how does it shape our lives?
Yes. How it shapes. That's where the last point I made mention of it is that if the outcome is in positive or is in negative. There are some people that you see them in their family. Tradition, they take people skin. You know that's the bad part of this. And before you know it, they passed it on to the children. Then you see some women, because what the mother is doing, she has ignorantly or unconsciously passed it on to the generation to come. So is it that it brings out a positive influence or it brings out a negative influence? That's why to your topic that says how it shapes our life. That is why you see many children outside now. Like, let me bring it to this now. There are some families that you can't correct their children. If you correct them, it's a problem. So before you know it, if you see now, before you know it, and you actually will think what he or she is doing is right, because people will decide not to, and it's their tradition. Like our grandmother will say, but is it that applicable now?
I don't think that is that.
So the tradition to take the work, no. Most of our tradition, our personal tradition, is even negating our culture. How? Now, like the one I said now, your column be more than your lonely. That's our culture. In Yoruba, in our olden days, you see uncles, aunties in Nagbole. Your mother can just give birth. That's why mothers of those days give birth to 9, 10, 11. Because you know that about the child lára ọ̀tọ́ báyìí kò sí wàhálà. Àwọn tó máa pé ọmọ máa gbé káì. But unlike now, you're on your own. Me and my husband. So tradition, anybody just come to me. If you want to come to my house, you must inform me. I think we change the culture.
But is there any other way? And I can think that civilization do actually pass. So is there anything talking about?
It's not let's say civilization. But let's say we are not disciplined as. Let me use an instance of our executive governor of Osun State now. But the very day my son, we went together to greet him, to pay him a visit. So, as the normal these guy thinks, he just did that. Mr. Governor hitting at his back.
Governor himself.
Inside.
No.
And let me tell you that he is not saying that alone. He's practicing it. You cannot see any of. Look at the video. If the video was to speak with another, he will prostrate, despite how rich he is. I tell you, I was happy he did that because I'll be so rich before he got there. So thank God he got there. He was disciplined. And since that day, he never repeated it again.
Okay, though, in that kind of situation now, how did you feel at the moment?
I was happy because, you know, this generation, when you tell them something, mommy, you're too much. I mean, this is not unique or this, okay, no problem. But I was happy he was taught a lesson outside. And it's not different from what I've been telling him inside. And even to the highest person he can even think, to a governor of the state. We hit him at the back. And the donkey told God. After that, after prostrating, he now picked him up. And I encouraged him. And the same thing, even, I'm not saying this because that's how his children does. The female, no man to beat you. The same thing with the boy. So we don't say, hello, was that? Are you the mother will even be looking at the guy? Oh no, what balaga. So that's why I said the tradition, I think in back culture.
Thank you very much. I want to join that our audience and actually say one or two things to pull from our content this time around. Thank you very much for having us, man. We really appreciate it. I hope if they invite you next time, list to
Sky.
well, let's just use this medium to apologize. Maybe we've actually disturbed the resting hour. But
Apology, I start to. Well, it's my pleasure anyway. I am not the only one you come across. So for you to have approached me, it's a privilege. So I though it's somehow tight, but at least how I should. And I'll say sorry for disappointing.
no problem.
It's not sorry.
It's fine, there's no problem. So thank you very much. So as you asked, if you can watch from beginning till this time, I believe that you have actually learned a lot. Follow us on Instagram, Nehemiah Podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Nehemiah Communication. Follow us on Facebook, Nehemiah Yusuf. And you will have a lot to learn on our podcast every week. Thank you very much for watching. Blessing Olanwe signing out on Nehemiah Podcast. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Welcome. Bye-bye.